Now let me share some other wonderful things about the Church of Jesus Christ and how it is in harmony with the Urantia Revelation. Our bodies in good health. On February 27, 1833, Joseph Smith was given a revelation known as the Word of Wisdom. Members were advised to abstain from wine, strong drink, meaning alcoholic drinks, tobacco, and hot drinks, meaning coffee and tea, and enjoin to moderation in the eating of meat, to enjoy wholesome foods, and were promised that living those words of wisdom would result in a healthy and happy life. And that's found in the Doctrine and Covenants 89. And scientific research has shown the wisdom of this revelation. In the Urantia Revelation, when telling us about our divine spirits, they are spoken of as divine thought adjusters, so that we can come to realize that it is through our thoughts that we are spiritualized. We are counseled. Quote, this is in paper 110. It is to the mind of perfect poise, housed in a body of clean habits, stabilized neural energies, and balanced chemical function, when the physical, mental, and spiritual powers are in triune harmony of development, that a maximum of light and truth can be imparted with a minimum of temporal danger or risk to the real welfare of such a being. By such a balanced growth does man ascend the circles of planetary progression one by one from the seventh to the first. Then the revelation makes it very clear that the adjuster remains with you in all disaster and through every sickness, which does not wholly destroy the mentality. But how unkind knowingly to defile or otherwise deliberately to pollute the physical body, which must serve as the earthly tabernacle of this marvelous gift from God. All physical poisons greatly retard the efforts of the adjuster to exalt the material mind, while the mental poisons of fear, anger, envy, jealousy, suspicion, and intolerance likewise tremendously interfere with the spiritual progress of the evolving soul. So you can see that faithful members of the church are more likely not to pollute their physical body, and they would remember their bodies are a temple for the Spirit. Now I want to share some about education. There are 4 universities of the church with about 50,000 students. Now those figures are 2011. There are 397,000 students attending high school seminary classes, 395,828 students attending University Institute of Religion classes, where they are instructed and taught the Old Testament, the New Testament, church history, and the gospel of Jesus Christ. Missionary preparation classes are taught, as well as marriage and parenting classes. Really, the educational system of the church is an excellent earthly Melchizedek University. The Revelation tells us that Melchizedek taught the people the principle of tithing in the Melchizedek church he organized, as the Bible briefly records. He was teaching Abraham and the people of that day, preparing the way for the 4th epochal revelation when Jesus was born and lived on the earth. The Church of Jesus Christ also gives people the opportunity to pay tithing, 10% of their income, and to pay fast offering by going without breakfast and lunch on the first Sunday of the month and giving the cost of the meals to the poor. The members of the church can donate money for the Missionary Fund to help those who do not have enough to still be able to serve a mission, and they can donate for humanitarian service to help 182 countries of the world. There are many references to the Melchizedek schools in the Revelation and to the calling of the Melchizedeks as teachers in the universe. But here are two. After our resurrection, quote, from the resurrection halls you proceed to the Melchizedek sector, where you are assigned permanent residence. Then you enter upon 10 days of personal liberty. You are free to explore the immediate vicinity of your new home and to familiarize yourself with the program which lies immediately ahead. You also have time to gratify your desire to consult the registry and call upon your loved ones and other earth friends who may have preceded you to these worlds. Then another quote, this is in paper 35. The Melchizedeks occupy a world of their own near Salvington, the universe headquarters. This sphere, by name Melchizedek, is the pilot world of the Salvington circuit of 70 primary spheres, each of which is encircled by 6 tributary spheres devoted to specialized activities. These marvelous spheres are often spoken of as the Melchizedek University. Now let's talk about missionaries. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is one of the most active modern practitioners of missionary work, with over 83,000 full-time missionaries worldwide, and that's a 2014 number. After they receive their call to serve from the prophet or president of the church, they go to a mission training center called in short the MTC, where they go through training in how to teach the gospel of Jesus Christ and often learn to do this in a new language. The missionaries go out to teach in pairs, just as Jesus had the apostles and evangelists do their missionary work. They even have one day for diversion and relaxation, as was the practice under Jesus' direction. In Jesus' day, they had Wednesdays as their day to be with their families or friends. In the church mission program, it's called a P-Day, meaning Preparation Day. Most LDS church missionaries are single young men over age 18 and women over age of 19. Older couple missionaries also volunteer to serve missions after retirement. Missionaries do not receive a salary for the work they undertake, and most are financially supported by themselves or their families. Throughout the history of the church, well over 1 million missionaries have been sent on missions. I thought you might be interested in hearing what the Revelation records about the preparation day Jesus had the apostles take. This is in paper 138. Quote, "It was at this time that Jesus established the midweek holiday for rest and recreation, and they pursued this plan of relaxation for one day each week throughout the remainder of his material life. As a general rule, they never prosecuted their regular activities on Wednesday. On this weekly holiday, Jesus would usually take himself away from them, saying, quote, 'My children, go for a day of play. Rest yourselves from the arduous labors of the kingdom and enjoy the refreshment that comes from reverting to your former vocations or from discovering new sorts of recreational activity.'" End of quote. While Jesus, at this period of his earth life, did not actually require this day of rest, he conformed to this plan because he knew it was best for his human associates. Jesus was the teacher, the master. His associates were his pupils, disciples. Then the Revelation also tells us of others who sent out missionaries to teach the people. Seth, a son of Adam, trained and sent out missionaries. Then Melchizedek trained and sent out thousands of missionaries all over the known world at the time to to teach the truth and prepare a people to receive the teachings of the Creator Son when he lived on earth, his bestowal mission. Melchizedek knew of his plan to come to this earth and was preparing the way. Ashoka of India sent missionaries into China, teaching some of the basic truths he understood. The one that was the most amazing was his realization that if you desired a divine spirit to be with you, one would be more than he was. And next, let's talk about temples. The church now has 142 temples where faithful members can go to make covenants, to live a life of fidelity and integrity and consecration to living a spiritual life of service and love. In the temples, they also watch a short film that is like a mini fifth Epochal Revelation, although inaccurate in some details. The spirit of it is beautiful and inspiring. The process is called an endowment, of course meaning a spiritual gift. The temples give members a wonderful opportunity to know what it means to dedicate their mortal will to doing the Father's will. In addition to their own spiritual growth, they are able to do spiritual service by going through the endowment by proxy for their loved ones, and in this way, in thought and deed, show their love for others who have left this earth through the death process. When one thinks of the selfish things that seniors do in their later years to pass their time, it is a marvelous choice to spend one's time in the house of the Lord, remembering those who have gone before them and desiring for their spiritual growth. Now here are some of the beautiful temples that have been built in many parts of the earth. Joseph Smith was told by revelations that a large temple would be built and how Adam and Eve and Jesus would also come here. The Urantia Revelation calls this temple a Urantia temple. After we leave this earth, we are called a Urantia being. Now it's interesting that mortal, Mormon, Moroni, Urantia all start with M-O-R. I researched and found M-O-R is a Greek root meaning more or many or a lot. That means it's saying we will be more than we are as a mortal. The Revelation records many things about the Urantia temple, but I will read a few paragraphs. Quote, and this is in paper 55. Although the planetary temples have been spoken of as coming down from heaven, in reality no actual material is transported from the system headquarters. The architecture of each is worked out in miniature on the system capital, and the Urantia power supervisors subsequently bring these approved plans to the planet. Here, in association with the master physical controllers, they proceed to build the Urantia temple according to specifications. The average Urantia temple seats about 300,000 spectators. These edifices are not used for worship, play, or for receiving broadcasts. They are devoted to the special ceremonies of the planet, such as communications with the system's sovereign or with the Most Highs, special visualization ceremonies designed to reveal the personality presence of spirit beings, and silent cosmic contemplation. The schools of cosmic philosophy here conduct their graduation exercises, and here also do the mortals of the realm receive planetary recognition for achievements of high social service and for other outstanding attainments. Now the Urantia Revelation reveals many things that we have never known about temples on our earth and in the universe. For example, the Revelation records that there was a temple of the unseen Father built in the center of the city of Dalmatia many years before Adam and Eve's arrival, which we as LDS think was in the pre-existence. Then, this is what is recorded about the temple built in the Garden of Eden. And again, quote, "At the center of the Adamic Peninsula was the exquisite stone temple of the Universal Father, the sacred shrine of the garden. To the north, the administrative headquarters was established. To the south were built the homes for the workers and their families. To the west was provided the allotment of ground for the proposed schools of the educational system of the expected Son, while in the east of Eden were built the domiciles intended for the promised Son and his immediate offspring. The architectural plans for Eden provided homes and abundant land for 1,000,000 human beings." And then, after our death and resurrection in the mansion worlds, the Revelation says this: "While sojourning on Mansonia number 7, permission is granted to visit transition world number 7, the world of the Universal Father. Here you begin a new and more spiritual worship of the unseen Father, a habit that you will increasingly pursue all the way through your long ascending career. You find the Father's temple on this world of transitional culture." Now we are told that there are Father's temples on many of the architectural worlds in the system, universe, super-universe, and of course where Heavenly Father dwells. It also tells us that on many worlds settled in light and life, which is the last dispensation, that there are many, many temples. How blessed we are to have a church organization on the earth that is building temples, a house of the Lord, dedicated to help us to be in tune with the Spirit as we live on this earth. On page 966 of the Epochal Revelation we read, "A genuine religious group will foster sentiment, satisfy emotion, promote loyalty, facilitate spiritual progress, enhance cosmic meanings, augment moral values, encourage social development, stimulate a high type of personal religious living, and foster the supreme goals of living, both a temporal, eternal, social, and spiritual life." It is my testimony that the Church of Jesus Christ does all those things. There are many more wonderful things recorded in the Urantia Revelation that show the Church is organized according to the pattern of the universe under the direction of the one we know as Jesus the Christ. Since on this earth a church organization is to prepare people, it had to come before the fifth epochal revelation, because revelation to the church couldn't be too much above the knowledge we have in the Old and New Testaments. The Church of Jesus Christ is to prepare the saints to receive more, even as Joseph Smith prophesied would come in the Doctrine and Covenants 121. And remember that everyone on the earth is meant to be saints in these latter days.